How's the nerves after that one then? Shot? Yeah. I think we're all feeling the same way. GIAKOUMAKIS, you sexy, sexy bastard. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Pardon my French in the opening to today's video, but the emotions are running high, the adrenaline is running high, and Celtic, well, they left it late. That's the only way to put it. Celtic winning 2-1 up in Perth this evening. This afternoon. St Johnstone 1, Celtic 2. Drama at the end of the game. Celtic, you could say, very lucky to walk away with 3 points this afternoon in what was a very testing game. A game where, you know, I think that we looked good at points, but we kind of let ourselves down in other periods of the game. It was sort of typical for our last few performances. You know, if you think back to Motherwell, you think back to St Mirren, the games in the Champions League, you know, there's real positives, but then we just let ourselves down in silly moments of the game. We don't take our chances, and we make life difficult for ourselves. I'm hoping that there today, that 90th minute, I'm going to say it did. It let us away. It let us away with it, you know. I'm going to say that goal that has let us away with it hopefully gives us the kick up the arse that we're needing right now. We haven't been great as of late. We all know that. We have kind of slipped a little bit. The standards haven't been as high as what were set in the early stages of this season. But that there has to be the wake-up call. That has to be the sort of goal and the sort of moment that makes this team and makes the manager go, right, okay, today could have been very different. We could have lost our spot at the top of the table today if it wasn't for GIAKOUMAKIS putting that at the back of the net. But it's also the kind of performance and the kind of game and the kind of moment that makes you realise this is what wins your league titles. It takes me back to Ross County last year when we got that 90th minute goal. Not many teams would have been able to respond to that goal there, the equalising goal, in the way that Celtic did. Rangers wouldn't do it. Certainly no other team in the Scottish Premiership, I think, would do it. And I don't think that a lot of clubs in Britain or Europe would be able to do that, especially with the pressure of trying to stay at the top of the league and playing for a title. That adds another dimension of pressure onto that sort of moment. But I don't think many teams could have done that. And that is it embodies everything about the whole "we never stop" thing. You know, the motto of the club in this era under Ange Postecoglou. That right there embodies all of it, because so many teams and so many different times in the past we would have seen players with their heads dropping. We would have seen a real difficulty to really try and go up the park as quickly as we did. But as soon as we got the ball back, as soon as they were done celebrating their equalising goal, Celtic were up the park and they were putting one in the back of the net and they were taking back the 3 points they thought they had only a minute or so before. And that is huge for us because it guarantees us to be top of the table at the end of this weekend. It gives us that, and it keeps that 2-point gap ahead of Rangers. And it also just means that, you know, we can celebrate a win because we needed that win. We really did. And I think there is definitely things to be concerned about. We'll talk about that throughout this video. But if we didn't win that game, the conversation would be really different right now. It would be incredibly different. There would be so much negativity. Some people would be calling for the heads of some players. People would be starting to doubt the manager. You know, these things happen. That's what realistically happens when Celtic suffer defeat amongst some other hardest games. You know, people start going to these extremes. And when they scored that equaliser, all I could see running through my head were tweets and comments and replies about our ability in games and our manager's ability and such. But the win changes that. And I'm so happy that we got that. And we're a strong side. We deserved the 3 points today. Don't forget that. If you were up there, I hope you're enjoying every last moment of those celebrations and the bus journey back to Glasgow. But we deserved that win. We really did. There is things to be concerned about. We will talk about that. But that right there embodies everything about Celtic. And that's something to be incredibly positive about. Let's go back to the start of the game of team selection. 6 changes were made to the side that played against Leipzig on Wednesday night. We've seen Haksabanovic, GIAKOUMAKIS come in, Bernabei, Tony Ralston, Carter Vickers returned into the team. You know, we see a lot of changes to the Celtic side that started on Wednesday night. A lot of good changes, I thought. I thought they were welcome changes. It was great to see GIAKOUMAKIS. If you watched my preview last night, the live preview on the channel, you would have seen that I said I wanted Haksabanovic, GIAKOUMAKIS to get a start. I didn't expect too many changes beyond that though, so I was pleasantly surprised when I seen the likes of Ralston and Bernabei in the team, and there's a lot of positives to talk about some of those players. But first half we were in total control, and I think, you know, if we could have just repeated what we done in the opening 45 of the game and the second 45 of the game, then we would have avoided, I think, any of those late chances that St Johnstone had, and obviously the one that they eventually converted. I think we would have won the game by more goals. I think it would have been just generally a more positive reaction to the game if we managed to replicate the opening 45, because we were in total control, absolute control. But the one thing that once again came in from the first half that we keep talking about, and I feel like it's becoming a broken record sort of comment at this point, is the wasted chances. But they are getting really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. A couple of really big opportunities in that first half that we didn't take. And when you look at the fact that our goal came from an own goal, it is, you know, I don't think it's worrying, but it is getting more concerning, because we need to convert these chances. Because if we did drop points today, it would be that we're talking about that would have came back to bite us. Abada had a massive chance in that first half that you need to score, and he didn't score. And we had a couple in the second half as well. We'll come on to that. But, you know, with the big chances when we're in total control of the game, we could have had the game killed off by half-time, man. O'Reilly had a fantastic chance, which was kind of pushed wide by the goalkeeper. A couple of other ones from close range, and crosses gone into the box and players missing them altogether. I don't know what it is about us at the moment, but that just seems to be the story of our game. We can dominate, we can control against the best of the best, or the worst of the worst. We just kind of put it in the back of the net. And that's really frustrating. But you look at the first half, absolute control of the game. I thought that some of the players were absolutely fantastic. The two that stood out for me over the course of the 90 today, and I want to talk about them just now, Sead Haksabanovic and Alexander Bernabei. Two fantastic performances from them. I thought Rio Hatate was absolutely brilliant as well, and we're going to kind of link this into the second half in a moment. But Sead Haksabanovic showing all the strengths of the player that I have been banging on about since the moment we've signed him. He is so intelligent, he's so direct, and he looked so natural in that position today. He played it sort of in that number 10 role. I was wondering how that was going to work. When we seen the starting lineup come out and we had Abada, Jota, GIAKOUMAKIS and Haksabanovic starting on the same team, I was thinking, right, okay, this is interesting. We obviously had, you know, Haksabanovic playing the sort of 10 role or whatever. He was drifted out wide at times too, but he just looked absolutely brilliant, and everything he done was so intelligent, especially off the ball. You might not notice it as much because you're too busy obviously watching the ball, but his runs when he's off the ball, the positions he gets into to create the next phase of play is so intelligent. There was one, and I think it might have been in the second half, where he has the ball, he passes it off to the next player, and he then runs from, you know, in behind in the middle of the park right down to the right hand side. He crosses the ball in. It's a chance that Maeda tries the overhead kick, and it's just, you just keep your eyes on, go back and watch the highlights and just keep your eyes on Haksabanovic as he moves in that play and he drags himself away from any opposition player. It's so intelligent, and he does it so quickly without thinking, and he done that in so many different occasions in today's game. I thought he was brilliant. And then as well, when he had the ball at his feet, so good, so direct, driving with the ball through the middle of the park in so many different occasions, in congestion as well, keeping such a good control of the ball at his feet. He's such a good talent. He's someone who I think by the World Cup break could and maybe should be considered as one of the starting players in this Celtic team. I don't know quite how you consistently start him without dropping somebody else, but I think that he is going to just get better and better, and hopefully he'll take every chance he's given. But I thought he looked brilliant today. Obviously, a big part in the first goal for Celtic, the opening goal of the game, his cross led to the own goal from Considine. But brilliant work from him overall today. I thought he was brilliant, and we're really seeing the qualities of a player who's going to be massive for us. You know, we're going to half-time, 1-0 up, brilliant, fantastic. Second half, the performance has started to dip, and you've seen that when the substitutions were made. I'll come back to talk about Bernabei and Hatate at the end. I just want to get through the second half. In the second half, it was irritating, because I just feel like the manager made the wrong substitutes, like he maybe has in the past couple of games. And I can't help but stress my point here. I'm not one to critique who is a fantastic manager in Ange Postecoglou. I couldn't do his job better than him. But I just feel like in the last few games there's been substitutions that have really drained out the best of us in the closing stages of games. He made a triple change at one point, brought Forrest on, brought Abelgard on, brought Aaron Moy on, and then I think he brought on James McCarthy not long after as well. I've got to give massive credit to McCarthy, to be fair, but I'm not having a go at these individual players here. I don't think it's anything to do with them as individuals. But we lost so much when we made those changes. Too much. And when you're only 1-0 up in a game and St Johnstone are looking for an equaliser, I just feel like it's the wrong subs to make. Especially when, you know, Haksabanovic was making chances, Hatate was making chances. And I know I've got a big game on Tuesday to try and rest the legs for. But I just feel like they were the wrong subs. Because when Abiodgard, Moy and McCarthy were playing at the same time, once again, not an individuals thing, I just feel like we lost so much. We had 3 sort of more defensive midfielders. Moy was the more attacking out the 3, of course. But we just had 3 players who I think drained all the creativity from the midfield playing together. Because, you know, we didn't have that same dynamic we normally do with the very attacking midfield. And when we have to chase another goal, I just feel like it was perhaps the wrong substitutions to make for me personally. And I think we've seen in the last 20 minutes when St Johnstone started getting more of a grip on it, we couldn't create in the same way, we didn't play in the same way, and we just lost that spark that was, I think, so bright throughout the first half and even in the opening exchanges of the second half. It nearly cost us the game because we lost all that, and I didn't see a goal coming. Not in a million years. Fair play, we got it. It all worked out in the end. But I feel like there was an opportunity there for so long in the second half for us to find a second. And then when we made those subs, it just completely vanished. You know, when they got their goal, it was sloppy. It was really sloppy from us. One thing I will say is, once again, you notice the difference with Carter Vickers coming back into this team. Great to see him back in here today. But we conceded that goal, it was coming. We were just creating, they were creating chance after chance. It was kind of ping-pong stuff in the middle of the box. And you know, it was just, they were battering away at us and we just seen it coming. But it's the reaction that was also more important. And a guy who played a big part in that reaction was James McCarthy. A massive fair play to him. He deserves the credit for his work in the winning goal. I wouldn't take that away from him, so well done, James. But another player who had such a big part in it, Alexandro Bernabei, who I thought today was brilliant. You know, it's so good because Greg Taylor's had a magnificent season so far. He's arguably been up there in the conversation for player of the year, player of the season. But I think that with, you know, Bernabei playing like that today, it's great to see that there's a confidence coming into his game. He's had his first start. He got his first assist in the winning goal of the game, a massive goal. That's going to do him so much good. And it's a guy who spent £3.5 million on. So I thought he was really good today. He was up and down that park. He was really good at that Ange Postecoglou fullback role of getting into the middle, being that inverted fullback. He was really good at getting into those positions. So he deserves a lot of credit for his performance today, I think. Look cracking, fast, passing was really good. Between him and Haksabanovic, they were the man of the matches for me. I thought everything that we were doing was vital to how we were attacking the game. So yeah, big shout out to Alexandro Bernabei as well. And Rio Hatate is just absolutely brilliant. He's just a class midfielder. And we were also concerned about missing out McGregor. And I think the news has now trickled through that we won't see McGregor till after the World Cup, which is devastating. But when you've got a player like Hatate there, it gives you a bit more comfort. So good. Brilliant once again today. When he's playing consistently well, he is just as important as a McGregor. He's so good. And today I thought he was brilliant. In summary, we were let off of it a bit today. It could have been a very different reaction to this game from not just myself, but from everybody in the Celtic support, because we were this close to dropping points. So, yeah, and I'm guessing that the result will swing a certain way. I mean, Rangers are already up 1-0 as I record this. So, you know, if we drop points today, it could be a very different conversation, but we never stop. And there's a narrative being created now from a few on the other side that Celtic are not as good a team. We haven't been playing as well recently. This needs to be the wake-up call, but certainly that's not the case. We're a fantastic team with a fantastic manager, and this season's just going to get better and better as it goes on. So I wouldn't worry too much just now. But yeah, let's use that as the wake-up call today. Yeah, that'll do. If you've enjoyed, make sure to hit like and subscribe. I appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time.